Yo, it's JuderzGaming here, back from another video, and I'm making a reaction video, so let's get to it. I hope you guys enjoying your weekend and stuff like that. Just to let you guys know, more gameplays, more reactions, more vlogs, and more everything. So if you guys want to have any suggestions or any notifications for me to make any new videos or to shout you guys out, I definitely will, okay? That's basically it, but it's a reaction video today. I seen that movie Kong Skull Island today. It was pretty good. You guys should see it though. But if you guys haven't seen the previews yet, you should see the previews first, and then you see the regular movie. Because the previews, I made a reaction video to it. And judging by the reaction video, I meant the review and the movie, it was pretty good. So I am gonna tell you guys what the movie is about, but some of you guys haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Just to let you guys know, so I won't tell it. Okay, so even though y'all might have seen it, but I don't know if y'all might have or might have not. But if you guys haven't seen it, or I don't know, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you guys seen the movie or not. So what I'm going to do is not say it because you guys didn't see it, and I said it. What's it about? Then it's going to mess it up because you haven't. I spoiled it for you, so I'm not going to say anything. Scary reaction videos are coming out, and some gameplays are coming out, and some random reaction videos. So let's get to it. Hope you guys enjoying your weekend. It's 2017 now. We're in March, so time flies. Just gotta live through it. Time definitely flies. Time definitely flies. Time flies for real. We are young, and then we get older, and then life goes on. So, I'm just having this science class about what humans gonna be like. I don't believe in that. So some people might have different views, because like if you believe in science, you believe in science, that science made the earth. But if you believe in a God, like Allah, God, or whoever, you believe that your God made the earth. So everybody got different beliefs, I mean, you can tell people, but it's up to them to change. So okay, I'm looking for the reaction. I'm looking for the video to make now. Yeah, I made a reaction video to Mr. Nightmare, by the way, for Scary True College Stories by Mr. Nightmare. It was creepy though, Alright, I'm going to make a reaction video to Mortis Media. Or let me look on Hoop Diamonds real quick. Oh, that's not water basketball. Hoop Diamonds. Yeah, but I'm gonna make a reaction video to Mortis Media because I believe, it's a scary video too. Or I might do it the NBA math. I'm looking for something. So, I hope you guys just like enjoy your weekend and stuff like that. Just enjoy yourselves. I am going to do like a NBA basketball shout out, or not shout out, but like reaction, but I don't feel like doing that. So I'll do Mortis Media. Alright. Where is it at? We made a long video. Alright, I'm going to do it to 5 True Home Invasion Stories by Mr. Nightmare, or Mortis Media. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, there we go.
About 4 years ago, I had just moved to Denmark from Brazil. My ex and I were staying in the guest room at my mother and stepfather's place. We stayed in a room way in the back of the house, and the room had a door which opened onto the conservatory which faced the backyard. My parents slept in a room way towards the front part of the house. Anyway, late one night, my mother and stepfather stayed up drinking some wine and beer. It should also be noted that they liked to drink quite a lot, and both were pretty tipsy. I didn't drink back then, and neither did my ex, so we just decided to skip the formalities and go to bed. I remember falling asleep pretty easily, but was awoken by something rustling the door, facing the conservatory. Whilst I was shaking off the sleepiness and my ex still sleeping beside me, the person got the door open and slowly crept into our room. I don't think he noticed as I was sitting up in bed, looking at him because it was really dark. Now I didn't really think twice because I normally consider Denmark to be so safe. I just assumed that this tall man entering was my stepfather, who is 6'5" and also very overweight. I looked at him, assuming it was my stepfather, and just said, "Hey, you okay?" And that is when my heart sank. As my eyes were adjusting, I saw the gleam from something in his hand from the light outside. It was unmistakably an axe. He had an axe in his hand, and this man was definitely not my stepfather. I think, for a few moments, time froze, because I saw him slowly turn his head, and we just stared at each other for several moments, completely frozen. He then quickly ran out of our room, through the conservatory, and out into the garden. I stupidly chased after him for no good reason, even though he had already jumped the tall bushes in my back garden, which I still today have no idea how he did. I hurried inside and saw my ex sitting in bed, absolutely terrified, asking if it was a ghost. He had woken up after I greeted the intruder, and he was too terrified to do anything. He actually only managed to come out of bed after I had convinced him that it wasn't actually a ghost, because an axe murderer is so much more appealing. It's funny how your man protects you, especially when I was 18 and he was 24. Well, we woke up my parents and called the police. They arrived after an hour or two when it was already getting light, and we found that the intruder had dropped the axe in the backyard. They never did catch the guy, and incidentally, a couple of weeks after, someone stole our big lawnmower from the shed.
Probably him. Same guy.
I wonder if it was his revenge for me being so polite towards his dumb ass. Still, I hope we never meet again.
So this story happened 10 years ago. I was 6 and my sister Ria was 16 at the time. I was home with my mom, who had gotten back from work and was going to take a nap. But before she had nodded off, she allowed me to order pizza. And this was awesome because as a kid, and even now, my mom's always been one for healthy eating. The only time I got to eat things like burgers or drink Coke was when my sister took me out or I visited my father. About 10 minutes later, I heard a knock on my door. Now, being older and wiser, I would have realized that there was no way that could have been the pizza, because it would have been way too fast. But as a kid with a craving for junk food, I just opened the door, but what I saw on the other side was alarming. There were 2 very tall men outside my door with hoods on. So there I was, stuck and stupidly not closing the door when one of them said, "Hey little girl, are your parents home?" I shyly responded with, "Well, my mom is home and my dad's at work, but he's coming home soon." They just started smirking at each other and quickly stepped in before closing the door. I was so scared at this point I did the only thing that seemed reasonable. I started screaming bloody murder. Unfortunately, one of the men quickly clamped his hand over my mouth and my mother, the deep sleeper she is, sadly didn't wake up. So I just started crying, praying for Ria to show up. Then one of the men starts unzipping his backpack to bring out something, when the front door opens, and it's my older sister Ria, and some of her hockey buddies. When my sister finally realized what was going on, she hit one of the men across the head with a hockey stick, and they were able to chase the man off. My mom eventually woke up from the commotion and quickly called the cops. Turns out, those men were part of some larger ring of criminals who had been breaking into people's homes. but thankfully the men were caught pretty quickly and put behind bars where they belong.
My mother is a nurse and works night shifts. My older brother and I are used to being home alone at night, as our dad is in the government and has to go far away for jobs sometimes, unfortunately. My best friend came over for a sleepover, so heck yeah, girls' night. We banish my brother to his basement room, but I check on him around midnight. He's out like a light. I lock up, shut the house down, and text my mum that the house is all done and that we will see her in the morning. My friend and I hang out in my upstairs bedroom and decide to turn on my computer to watch the very popular web series, The Most Popular Girls in School. For those who don't know it, be sure to check it out, it's hilarious. Anyway, we hear someone trying to stifle laughter outside the door as we're watching. Clearly they're finding the show funny as well. My friend Beth and I pause the video, and we can clearly hear someone trying not to laugh. I throw a stuffed animal at the door and yell, "Piss off, Dawson, go to bed," and then hear footsteps go down the stairs to the ground floor. Not the basement, the ground floor. I thought it was a bit weird, so I grab my phone and text him and tell him to stop lurking in the hallway. But that is when I see a few missed texts from him. They are as follows. 12:20. Mum said stay in the house at night, dumbass. 12:23. Can you stop banging upstairs? Some of us are actually trying to sleep. 12:25. Thanks. Oh, there's a Sprite in the mini fridge, by the way. I kinda get spooked because we never left the house, and we were upstairs in my bedroom by 12:15. I called my brother's cell phone and waited for him to pick up. He did, sounding very groggy. "This better be important," he said. I frantically explained what was happening, still wanting for this to be an elaborate joke that he was trying to pull.
Not pulling a prank.
He's quiet for a moment on the other line, and then he finally speaks, and I'll never forget what he said. "Open your window. Get onto the roof, take your phones and go across to Dr. Tom's house. Call the police on your way. And after that, call Mum. And remember that I love you, Mum and Dad a lot, okay? Go now!" He hangs up, and I am crying as I push Beth out onto the roof. She, having heard the conversation, is already dialing 911 as she climbs down. I linger inside for a minute and start hearing crashes, like breaking glass and furniture. She yells for me to come down, so I escape out the window and we bash on Dr. Tom's door, who happens to be my mum's co-worker. He's awake luckily, being a night shifter on his day off, and lets us in. He knows my brother is in serious trouble, so he wakes up his wife and tells us to stay with her. He grabs the gun from his bedside table and heroically runs out wearing pajama bottoms and no shirt. After what feels like forever, there's sirens and yelling. Tom's 7-year-old daughter peeks out the window and tells me that there are cops taking a man out from our house. And there's also an ambulance outside on the street. I start bawling again, thinking that my brother has been slain for sure. A little while later, though, I find out that my brother's okay. Tom filled in the gaps for us. You see, Dawson knew that because he was in the basement and underground, that if he tried to escape the house, he would run into the intruder on the ground floor, being a very open space and with very few walls to hide behind. He was my brave big brother, and he grabbed the aluminium baseball bat from under his bed and made sure that Beth and I can escape before going face to face with whoever was in our house. The dude was armed with a knife, but my brother managed to bat it out of his hand. He was pretty sure that he broke at least a few of the guy's fingers, if not his whole hand. This intruder is crazy, and then tries to attack Dawson instead of escaping. There was a struggle when they ended up knocking over a lot of things before Tom runs in and grabs the dude from behind, holding a gun to his head. They restrain him until the cops show up. They had brought an ambulance with them, because Beth had told them that my brother was in there and he might get hurt. It turns out they did need an ambulance though. Dawson broke the intruder's hand, 2 ribs, and he suffered a severe gash on his leg from landing on a chunk of pottery that my mum insisted on keeping around, as well as possible head trauma. This man is in jail now for breaking and entering and a few other unrelated charges that we weren't told about. We're going to be notified when he's released. I am so proud of my big brother for being so brave. He wasn't injured, just a few bruises and scrapes here and there, and was treated at the scene. We looked for how the guy got in, and apparently one of the windows in the laundry room attached to the ground floor can be opened, which is something that none of us were aware of. It takes a lot of propping to slide in and fit through it, but that's how he got into our house. He didn't have any of our valuables with him, even though there are a lot of nice things in the house which he could have stolen for sure. He didn't even bring a bag, and nothing was out of place besides a few of my mum's things, which really creeps me out. If he didn't come to steal and came with a knife, I think it's pretty clear his intentions were far more sadistic.
It was.
I'm not suffering any nightmares or PTSD over it, and neither's Dawson. But Beth sadly is having a few issues with it. She's in counselling though, and she'll be okay.
My boyfriend and our good friend were living in an apartment in our city. To initially get into the large complex, there are security gates that need an access key, then another security door to get to the stairwell, and then the unit doors themselves. There have been a few occasions where I'd come home and realized the door to the stairwell was just sitting on the frame without actually closing, and I would make an effort to close it properly as I came and went. On this night, my boyfriend, flatmate, and another friend were having drinks at our place on a weeknight, and it was about 11 when our friend who lives up the road decided to head out. Like any other night, we went to bed. It must have been like 2 in the morning when I awoke suddenly because I thought I could hear someone treading on the carpet. I remember I audibly gasped because I was confronted by the silhouette of a guy standing in our bedroom. I couldn't make him out because my eyes were adjusting to the light, but I immediately thought it was our flatmate, and we must have his car keys. It's funny how the brain tries to make sense of a strange situation. To me, the silhouette looked remarkably like our flatmate, who was quite a small guy of similar height and build. I stared at him, and he slowly backed out of the room. Then I saw him peer around the door again. I couldn't make out his face, and I said, "Hey Josh, what do you want?" It was the lack of response that scared me the most. My flatmate would have at least explained what he was doing. He left the doorway, and my heart started pounding, so I elbowed my partner, who woke up, and I said, "I think there's someone in the house." I was surprised at how quickly he got up, still half asleep. I watched him leave the room for the lounge, and then really loudly he said, "What the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of my house!" Turns out this guy was hiding around the wall waiting. I don't think he was expecting to be confronted by my large partner. This guy then bolted for the door, which he left on its hinges while saying sorry. I started screaming how close the stranger had been and how vulnerable we were. My boyfriend says he was an Asian guy. Turns out he had gone into our flatmate's room first, because his door, which he keeps closed, was open, but he sleeps with headphones on and he hadn't noticed. Looking back, I think we should have called the cops straight away, but we left it till the next morning. There was nothing missing, and I think he was just an opportunist. We were told that security found that he had checked all the doors along the stairwell until he got to ours, which we stupidly left unlocked, being drunk. Normally, my partner is really onto it with the doors. We ended up getting a deadlock as well as a chain lock, and we never take home security lightly now. We have since moved, but I still, to this day, have no idea what that guy was after.
This story was told to me by my father, who is a retired policeman of 30 years. This story took place in a small coastal town in the northeast of England. I would like to add that my father is an atheist, and is a very tough, logical and straightforward guy. A call came from a panicked middle-aged woman, saying that there was an intruder in her house, and at that moment upstairs in her home. It was mid-afternoon and she was hiding somewhere downstairs. The police respond quickly, and my father and his partner arrive on the scene. Backup is on its way, and they enter the home quickly and simply by kicking in the front door and rushing into the house shouting, "Police! Police!" As they storm in, the lady runs up to my father as his partner runs upstairs to check the rooms. My father calms the lady down, and the partner returns unable to find any trace of anyone or anything. Nothing has been ransacked and there are no forced windows. The house is semi-detached and has a very simple layout, with the main stairs directly in front of you as you enter the home. As my father and his partner try and talk to this hysteric lady, they suddenly hear someone running up the stairs very loudly. My father's partner races up the stairs with my father hot on his heels. They hear the back bedroom door slam, but as they burst into the room, they find it completely empty, with a punching bag gently swaying in the corner. No open windows, no one running through the garden. This person basically vanished. They made sure to sweep the entire house, every closet, under the bed, behind every door. In every nook and cranny they searched, and they found no one. Upon heading back downstairs, completely bewildered, the lady bursts into tears and comes clean. She claimed that she knew there was no intruder, and that she believed her house was haunted. She had been so terrified by the poltergeist activity in her home that she didn't know what to do, and that day she had called the police for comfort and help. She was really desperate. I have no idea how the case unwrapped, but my father and his friend have been baffled ever since by the entire experience. Hey guys, it's Mort here, and thank you so much for listening. So this is the 6th video for the 12 days of Creepmas. We're halfway there. If you need to catch up, you can check out the playlist on screen. And remember guys, go watch Bump in the Night's video with the other half of the collaboration. He's been really patient with me. So I would...
Alright, so that's the end of the video. I just wanted to make a reaction video on Mortis Media. So if you guys like it, please give a thumbs up. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. And also, by the way, please make sure that you watch out my previous videos and my uploads. And also, basically, that's what's going to happen. Alright, so more reaction videos coming up, more gameplays, more scary reaction videos, and more vlogs are coming up. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out. Alright, bye.